Great. Oli, you get the last question from the audience.
Thank you. This will be very quick. Wilson Ty, in his remarks, said, I sold my bike in 2009. Could we do a straw poll? Sorry. Here I am thinking car. Pardon me. Okay, bike is good. He sold that motorized thing in 2009. So could we have a little poll? Raise your hand if you do not own a car. Just a poll. Wow. Look around. Thank you.
Thanks, Oli. And there's no judgment. There's many reasons why people need a car, and I will have no judgment on car owning in this group. But hooray for all the options that we have. I want to ask one last quick question of the group before we break up this awesome panel. So one of the things that Jenna said at the beginning is an invitation to Bike East Bay to lean into relationships with communities that we historically haven't been as successful reaching. So I want to ask everyone to just give me one quick piece of advice about doing that, how to lean in. And I will share one thing that I've learned recently, which is, above all, a willingness to be uncomfortable is a quality needed in leaning into these relationships. So would you all just give me one quick thing that you think would help us in building those relationships?
I would say think outside of bike riding. So most of the time that I spend is working with, since our work is with the Black community, then like the last community meeting I was at was like the state of Black Oakland, and this is kind of like after all of the protests and everything that have been happening around the Eric Garner and the Ferguson situations. So just like think outside of bicycling, like what is it that, what's the real question? Like it's not just about bike equity, it's about racial profiling, it's about economic equity, it's about all these social issues that really tie into bike riding, and bike riding can be an awesome tool for addressing those things.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of use some of that and some other things that were said about bicycling can be a tool. So to kind of also like in that same vein, not just come at it with one idea of what it can be, but like it can be like, the people that just, they don't even think of themselves as cyclists, they just use a bike and all of those kinds of things. And I think definitely asking more questions is always good too, besides being like, I wanted to have this agenda, and just being like, oh, how can we do this? What do you need? And the more questions that are asked, the more people feel like, there's actually a connection, because it's not just like, it's more engaging, I believe. And then with the understanding that bicycling is a tool that can do all kinds of things, and people come at it so many different ways, and you can help more people get on them by not just having one way and being like, oh, there's this way to have a bike, and this way to have a bike, and the person has one, and the person has seven. So I think that is also a great way, and I feel that has been what is happening. But yeah.
I just completely agree with what the other panelists have said. More specifically, I think the groups that have affinity to what we're doing, what our goal is, are groups that are doing environmental justice work. We've had a lot of success in San Francisco with a group called Rivera. They also do a lot of youth work, really successful. Also transportation justice and tenants' rights, Power, that has now merged with Just Cause, which is also in the East Bay, has been a great ally in a lot of the work that we've done. And again, it's a question of affinity and alliances around certain issues and being transparent. That sometimes we might disagree, but being okay with that.
Cool. Those are really inspirational. Renee, that's amazing. Be uncomfortable. Meet someone new every day. Say hi, introduce yourself. Concept of local heroes. Hashtag local heroes. That's my 2015 thing. Is giving praise to people that you know, that you talk to every day, that are in your circle. Support and praise the people that are around you, as opposed to some foreign, superstar Hollywood football player that has no idea who you are. but give praise to people around you and support them, and then you'll see your life improve.
Okay, that was great, but that was not nearly enough for this, as Wilson said, a group of local heroes that we've got right here. So bring it up, bring it up. Thank you so much, Wilson, Chema, Binky, and Jenna, for sharing your wisdom with us. You've really given us so much to think about as we go forward in planning our strategies and action plans tomorrow. It has just been really, really awesome. Thank you, and thanks everyone for all of your questions. I think this is really rich.